What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodSports.com. I'm boy Easy, joined by Spimo Rex,
What up,
Chris,
though?
Nicholas Koloff. Be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. It's Hot Dog Boy today. I gotta quit saying Nicholas Koloff.
Glizzy boy.
Glizzy Boy. You guys know I get in my rhythm. With
Little
those
Glizzy boy.
You guys are ridiculous. All right. It's time to have some grown-up conversations about this Detroit Lions team.
Yes.
And moving forward. Actually, first and foremost, we all want Max Crosby. I think, like Neil going against the grain there and saying that he didn't, if we had that trade go through today and they acquired Max Crosby,
They'd be
he'd be in that
Super Bowl
fucking
favorite.
chair celebrating Brad Holmes out there butt-ass naked streaking with his fucking face painted on him. Like
Yes.
he'd be all about it. He'd be all about it.
They would be the Super Bowl favorite tomorrow if they traded for Max Crosby today.
However, this is what Dan Campbell had to say this morning when asked the subject matter, what type of guy they'd be looking to acquire.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Look, I honestly, I think if anything, you're looking for really a role player, somebody I think that can set an edge, that can transition into rush. It doesn't have to be somebody. I mean, look, as you guys know, these elite rushers and edge setters and all that don't just fall off trees, you know. And or if they do, then you're going to have to sell the farm to get them. But I do think there could be some guys out there, man, that'll fit into what we're doing defensively. They can serve a role. They can help maybe supplement some of what's going on inside with what we got with Mack and Levi and Reeder and those guys. And I think more than anything, you're looking for at least a complementary piece.
Oh, it's interesting.
And that's what we're saying. Like we know Max Crosby is a long shot. We know Myles Garrett is a long shot. But we've talked about other guys, and the one that speaks out to me the most is Zadarius Smith. Based on his age, he's been around the league for a while, so these guys know him. They've played against him multiple times. The coaching staff knows him. And he is on a team that is selling, on a team that is on the road to nowhere, and the car is driven by a sex offender. Like, the Browns are...
Stephen Kwan at the wheel?
The Browns are a failing ship. And they might not be in the business of trading Myles Garrett, which they are. If they are, you got to ask about him. But 100% Zadarius Smith is a guy they'd be willing to part with. And he would be perfect. He would be perfect, honestly. You put him opposite Josh Pascal. This is a guy, like I said, he can set the edge. He's good in the run game as well as being a good pass rusher. I think he would be a great fit.
I want to play the game Unky Neil likes to play when it's convenient for him. When he wants to talk about cutting guys for $4 million worth of savings, but praises the Jared Goff contract and all that good stuff. Let's play the numbers game. Let's play by the field he goes on. Spotrac. Their Twitter account today posted what the cap hits would be if you acquired Max Crosby. What the Detroit Lions can afford. His cap hit after a trade would be $17 million.
Oh, Lions cap space.
Oh, this is devoted after Detroit. This is after acquiring Max Crosby.
Yeah.
You would still have $17 million available, if not mistaken.
This year?
Yes.
After a potential trade. So it would only cost you $17 million on the books this year. According to this devoted to Detroit, but we also have Spot Track one too. We won't put that one up for the Max Crosby. This is just the numbers year by year. So devoted to Detroit, not far off. I know some people use over the cap, some people use Spotrac, but according to Spotrac, it'd be 16.8 guaranteed this year. The Lions currently have $28 million available. We have the money.
Yes, we do.
The following year, 23.1. The year after that, 2026, 19 points. You can afford this deal.
You can afford that deal for sure.
This doesn't break you on the books.
No.
Those aren't. The $30 million is a new acquisition for these guys. If you're signing them in free agency, if you re-sign them right away.
That's the crazy part about Myles Garrett and Max Crosby is that they're both, top 5 players at their position. They're both on teams that are going nowhere this year and actively selling their best players. They both just traded their wide receiver ones. And they're both affordable, which is why they're going to cost more. They're going to cost. It is going to be a deal that you would see probably multiple first-round picks go. And some people are not comfortable with that. But adding either one of these two guys who are in their prime, a top 5 player at a position of need, and on affordable deals for a couple of years, that's why we talk about it, because it's very possible.
You want to play the money game, it's right there.
And one of the biggest things about it is easy. Everyone says, oh, you got to keep your homegrown talent. You got to keep your elite homegrown talent. Aiden Hutchinson's deal runs out right when that contract's up.
Boom.
Right when Crosby's out. Oh, and what, you want to have just the 1 year with them? Then you can move Crosby if you want really that bad to regain some capital.
Yeah, not
you
a
need
chance,
him
though.
now and then Hutch for next year. But I'm saying you have the ability to still do that. You're not closed into any sort of box here by giving up 2 future first-rounders for these elite guys. The sky's the limit on what you can do with this team. And like I said, Hutch's rookie deal is up right when Crosby's deal would be done here in Detroit from what the contract he's on right now.
If you trade for Max Crosby this year, like I said, you become the favorite for the Super Bowl as soon as he touches down in Detroit. And then next year, you are the overwhelming favorite to win the Super Bowl.
Brother, all your key pieces
Are locked down.
Yeah.
You're signed them all.
Ali McNeil's maybe the only one. Kirby Joseph, no, he's part of the same class as Hutch, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 2 years still.
Like, you got these guys, everyone's locked down, strapped down. And you can still manipulate the cap where it benefits you. Just real quick, one more thing, Spinny. This is the fucking year, guys.
It is.
I know we like to think that there's just one individual for some reason that just came down and blessed his team. That's not the case. This is a collective.
It's the team.
A guy that's a huge part of this, a guy you just watched Tom Brady, the guy with 7 Super Bowl rings, said he loved to play for this offense. You know who runs that offense? A guy named Ben Johnson.
Yep.
I can't guarantee that he's here next year.
Nope.
We can't.
No, you can't.
And you see the complicated stuff that's getting ran out there. The next guy up, sure, he might be good. He might be serviceable. I can't guarantee you that he's doing that shit.
Nope.
The shit that's talking about a guy in a booth with 7 Super Bowl rings, retired, talking about, damn, I'd love to run that offense.
Yes.
You can't promise that's going to be here. I can't guarantee you the odds, the health, everything else is going to be here next year to repeat this Super Bowl. I don't care what one first-round pick you have to use.
Yes.
A rookie's most likely not going to contribute to you winning that Super Bowl. This year, yeah, it has to, but as a circumstance situation, we don't have another cornerback to start there. Terrion is very much viewed as a prospect that needs to grow, and I think we're watching him grow throughout this season. We see that he doesn't play the ball. We know that he can grow into a superstar. He's not drafted as a superstar. This is the year. It's boom or bust. You saw it work with the Rams. You saw it work with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's no reason not to do this unless you're just, in a way, and I hate to say it, like arrogant.
Yes.
Or if you just want to see it play out. And I understand want to see it play out for 2 weeks, but like there's no turning your nose at this.
I can tell you right now.
You're knocking at the door right the fuck now.
I can tell you right now with wholeheartedness, like what we talked about on BDE, those 2 first-round picks that Neil mentioned, which was just, a rough estimate. Neither one of those guys will be better than Max Crosby. I promise. I promise you that. I love Brad Holmes and the way he drafts. Those late 20 first-round picks, neither of those guys are going to turn out to be better than Max Crosby. He is a superstar in the NFL. And Ali McNeil, I do love him. He's a great player. I'm a big fan of his. Sorry, man.
Well, you don't even have to give up Ali McNeil. Keep
Well,
Ali
yeah,
McNeil.
no, you won't be able to re-sign him. It was the thing.
I think you could. I mean, according by the numbers, you would have that 20 extra million. Could we put up one more time with Max Crosby just the following year? And by the way, too, you know how these you can stretch it out. You void years. Like,
and again, it's a descending deal.
And you could have Jared Goff restructure and free up some money. You could have Amon-Ra St. Brown or Penny Sewell.
59 million. Yes, we could.
Yeah, you could.
You can afford to make this happen, and you cash in a Super Bowl this year.
And the cap's going to keep going up.
Listen, I fully understand, and I love the pump-up speech that Dan Campbell gave this morning when he was like, you don't think we can do it without him? We might as well, call it in right now. Just call it a season. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I understand that's not what they're going to do. I understand that they bred this team to compete this entire offseason. But just the thing for me, when I get down to like the X and O's of it even, you can't play as much man coverage as AG plays if you don't have a pass rush. This defense, I believe, outside of Aiden Hutchinson at the edge position, has only generated like 7 pressures. I could be mistaken on that one. But you just got to change your entire philosophy, and I think they finally found a groove in that man coverage with these cornerbacks. And we're talking about Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph being 2 top 10 safeties right now. Per PFF, if you want to get down and be a nerd about it, I think Kirby's 7th and Brian Branch is 8th. 2 top 10 guys right now. And I think it has to do a little bit of that system. You have to change things around. And can it work? Yes, but doesn't guarantee the Super Bowl. That's the other thing, too. People say, can you guarantee? Can you guarantee me they win a Super Bowl if not?
No.
You can't. But can I guarantee your odds are increased if you do make that move? Yes, I could. Absolutely, I could.
And Detroit Supremacy's in here talking about a sustainable run, and apparently trading Max Crosby means this team where the best pieces
That makes no
already
sense.
all have signed. Your pillars, your quarterback, your left tackle, your wide receiver have signed. You've got 2 rookie cornerbacks who you want to be the future. So those guys are on 4 and 5 year rookie deals.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Aiden Hutchinson who's on a deal, which we just showed you the money he's going to be able to get re-signed, and add 3 years of Max Crosby into the middle of that. If that doesn't mean sustained success to you, then you're an idiot flat out. Because that would be injecting this team with being the Super Bowl favorite 2 years in a row while having your foundation set already.
Everyone else is sustained. Everyone else
I
in the
don't
contract.
understand why every year you guys are so scared and act like such bitches with shit like this. Like you wouldn't want Max Crosby for 3 years while you have the money to re-sign the guys you need? Are you that worried about losing an Ali McNeil if it means you win a Super Bowl? Because you're not going to lose an Aiden Hutchinson because of it. You see how the contracts worked out. He'll be able to get signed. You already have your 3 most important offensive players set. Your cornerbacks are both rookies. Your safeties rookie contracts won't be up until Max Crosby is off the books already.
Jack Campbell,
Yeah,
Alex
so,
Anzalone.
So if you're really that worried about losing, those guys, I don't understand.
They're all under contract.
It doesn't make sense.
They're all under contract. You're not sacrificing anything by making this move outside of just giving the picks up. And at this point, if you're projecting to be what you're projected to be, those are second-round picks, and you gave that up to move up to get Terry on this year alone. You gave up a first-round pick and a third-round pick to grab a rookie cornerback this year.
And
you're telling me you wouldn't throw another first round in the same transaction to get fucking Max Crosby?
Yeah, and again,
you're out of your mind.
Detroit Supremacy says bye-bye to Hutch, JMO, Gibbs, Laporta, etc.
Jesus.
Put the numbers up one more time.
They would all still
what are we
be
not
on
understanding
rookie
here?
contracts while Max Crosby is here. And when Max Crosby leaves, that's when their contracts go up. So that's when you re-sign them, after their contract is up.
Up to
That's when you re-sign them.
$77 million.
Yeah, it's all right.
Lions fans need to realize
He
this.
needs something to hold on to make himself feel like it's a bad move.
Ready for this one? Get that sound out of your head.
Yeah.
Because that's no longer your Super Bowl. You're staring down an actual Super Bowl. This draft is not the best day of the year anymore for you Lions fans. Everybody is acting scared right now and thinking about draft day. I'm willing to give up a day for a lifetime of celebrating a goddamn ring.
Yeah, I don't
Stop that. And plus, Brad Holmes drafts elite in the later rounds. We need to stop holding on to a first-round pick in a draft where it's going to be one night of celebrating. Oh, you want to watch their highlights. We've all been there. But you can watch the Super Bowl game highlight tape for the rest of your goddamn life.
Yeah,
Especially if Brad is who you know he is.
Yes.
He hits in those late rounds. Brian Branch, contributing piece, second-round pick. Sam Laporta, contributing piece, second-round pick. Kirby Joseph, third-round pick. Ali McNeil, third-round pick. What are we doing, guys?
Yeah. Like Nick said, your Super Bowl is no longer the draft. Like we're not worried. But we got to do something good for the draft. No, our Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. That's what we're looking for. Nobody remembers where they were draft night. Nobody remembers where they were when this guy got drafted in the first round. You'll remember where you were when the Detroit Lions win a Super Bowl. That's more important now. We're sitting at the big boy table. We're not fawning over first round picks. We're fawning over guys helping us win Super Bowls.
We all are on the same page here, but the one thing I will point out is that goes with that conversation is I think fans are looking at it differently. They're looking at it from a fear perspective, but just historically, like Brad Holmes' DNA as a GM, he hasn't yet made these moves. Now, you can definitely argue that they weren't in the position that they're in right now, and that's why I'm in the camp of make the big splash. But I am very curious to see because this is it. Like if he doesn't make this big splash now, then I, as a Detroit Lions fan going forward, am never expecting that. Every offseason, every trade deadline, I am not circling the biggest name on the block, the biggest name, the biggest cachet. I'm not looking at Brad Holmes getting that if they don't do it this year. And that's fine because look at the roster he's dug up this way. If you want to split your atoms and get multiple defensive edge rushers that can kind of help fill the void of Aiden Hutchinson, that's fine. But as far as this is the last time to make a big transaction. Otherwise, I'm never expecting it from Bad Homes. Never.
And Wheezy D313 says, Mad Max was a 4th-round pick that developed into this. Brad can find one of them. We need one right now. We need one right now to win a Super Bowl this year. Right now. This is our time. You heard Sheila Fordham. You heard Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Jared Goff. They talk Super Bowl. I'm not in the business of that. I'm in the business of getting an elite edge rusher in this NFL and winning the Super Bowl this year, which the Lions would be favored into if they got Max Crosby.
Guys that help, even Brad Holmes, are getting recruited and hired by other organizations. You just lost one of them to the Commanders. The Commanders look pretty good this year. You're talking about losing Ben Johnson. Mike Dizer's being recruited across the league. Like, even your position coaches. Mike, we almost lost Haley this year.
Yeah.
Your vaunted offensive line coach.
Yes.
Like, it's Dan Campbell last year when they lost in that NFC Conference Championship game, told you then and there, like, we can't guarantee we're going to be here again. This may be the only opportunity we got. And you're going to lose more and more and more of this. That's made it. It's not all one piece. It's not Jared Goff.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative effort across the board, from the front office down, and you can't guarantee any of these guys are going to be here next year.